Hello and welcome. My name is John Lawrence and I work for WildTech as a lead consultant. And today we're going to explore an area of the Dynamics 365 platform which is going to appeal to our marketing colleagues, and that is known as Customer Insights Journey. And specifically, we're going to have a look at real-time marketing. And through this demonstration today, we're going to have a look at who we're sending our content to, who we're interacting to, um, looking into segmentation techniques and also triggers. We're also going to take a little bit of a look at some of the what we send our customers. So having a look into specifically the email builder capability, because everybody loves to send an email out to their customers. And also touch on the SMS and push notifications functionality. And then we're going to kind of have a look at the how part of the equation, which is the customer journey. So how do we put all of that together and take one of our customers on a predefined journey? We're also going to have a quick look at the kind of reporting and analytics side of things. So one quick caveat there, unfortunately, with the reporting and analytics, I don't have an awful lot of transactional data. So having spun up my environment that I'm using for today's demo just in the last couple of hours, I will just give you the heads up that for reporting analytics, we'll share a couple of screenshots of some more established and mature environments, just to give you an idea of what to expect and anticipate from customer insights in terms of that reporting and analytics capabilities. We'll also just do a very brief touch on kind of an additional component that can be brought into the fold, known as customer insights data, which is something that a lot of people are going to find very interested in, with disparate data resources on their customers and information spread out across a number of different channels, platforms, and so on and so forth. And that is something that is intended to get that unified, consolidated view of the customer across all of those different areas where you might have different transactional data and historical information sitting, not necessarily inside the Dynamics 365 database, or indeed inside any other database within Azure or the Microsoft stack. Okay. So what we're going to do is go and have a look at Dynamics 365. All right. So as I mentioned, we're going to start off our process with who. Who are we going to engage with? Who do we want to engage with? So we're going to have a look at segments in here. Just to give you a bit of a heads up, what we've landed on here is a bit of a get started page. So just help new users in particular, or just as a kind of a homepage to go and execute on some common processes and common things that you might want to do with regards to your real-time marketing, are all set up here. So I'm just going to navigate directly to the segments. Okay, we're going to kick off the new segment process. I'm just going to give my segment a name. Obviously, it's important to put something in there so that we can pick it up and use it again in the future. Just for the purposes of this demo, we'll just call this example number 2. Audience. So when we're dealing with segments from a Dynamics 365 perspective, we are looking to reach out to either contacts or leads. So for those of you who are maybe not familiar with those terms, in the Dynamics context, a lead is what we would possibly also refer to as a prospect, somebody who is maybe pre-qualified, and contact would be someone maybe who's post-qualified, but both of those representing obviously individual people rather than organizations. So we'll just pick contact on this one. Now, one of the cool things that we've got in place now for customer insights journeys and that very rapidly evolving AI and landscape. We've got some query assist capability that's been brought in by Copilot. So you can see as I start to type in to this search field, we'll get some suggestions that Copilot has brought back to us based on things that are common or match the criteria. Now, it doesn't matter if you pick one of these or don't pick one of these. You can just continue to construct a statement that you think, and based on your knowledge of your contact data, is going to be a good starting point, mainly if you want to expand on this, but certainly as a starting point to go and get the system to pre-configure the essentially the segmentation rules or logic. So let's just go with contacts who opened an email. Okay, so it's come back here. It's given me that assistance. It's given me a result where we've got a rule now on the segment to say an email opened is triggered in the last 28 days. I can use that. If I'm not happy with the result, I can go and clear it. We can start again, or I can go and create that manually. But let's just, for this argument's sake, just use that one as is. All right. Okay. So you'll see here we've got now a group. So the statement for creating our segment is emailed opened in the last 28 days. And the email is now what if the system's going to want you to do is to let it know which email is it that we're interested in for this particular segment. So obviously there can be a great number of emails that you might have in place. So it's important to go and pick up the one that is relevant to you as part of your segmentation. So let's just say that we've got them to open the lead generation email. Segments can be as simple or as complicated, I guess, as you want to make them. The important point to note here is the degree of flexibility with the segmentation functionality. It can be based on what we're doing here, which is some sort of behavioral event. But it also can be based on attributes against the contact records. So when we talk about attribute groups, for some people, you'll know those as fields. So fields against the contact record. Those of you who are more deeply involved in dynamics and some of the language, modern language that is, might know them as columns. But essentially, we're talking about that metadata against that contact. So, dates of birth and first names, surnames, locations, or any other custom field that you've put in place against your contacts. Like a loyalty program level, for example. Once you're happy with your segmentation, and as I say, you can build that up with whatever you need to reach that segment. You can just go over across to here. We'll click save. And then importantly, just make sure that if we want to actually go and use that segment, that it's in a ready to use state. Okay, so now we've done a little bit on segments. Let's have a look at another way that we can trigger, pardon the pun, and a customer journey. So that would be triggers. So there are a number of out-of-the-box triggers that you can look to leverage, or you can go and customize your own. It's entirely up to you. Triggers can be obviously created on the basis of the creation or modification of data. But if I just start the process to create a new trigger here, we're going to give it a name. So I'm just going to call this, this trigger. Okay. So we get here a choice about what action will actually activate that trigger. So when a record related to a customer is created or updated, or when a customer interacts with like a website or an app. So the difference between these two is, whether or not you're going to need to collaborate with your developer, your website developer, your app developer, to provide them with a little code snippet. So similar way that Google Analytics runs, you get a little code snippet, you drop it onto your page, the analytics get collected and pushed out to the background. So in a similar kind of vein, that's what we're talking about here. So I'm just going to do that so we can go through the process of what that looks like. Okay, so we get walked through a process to create our trigger. Okay, we are basically able to set this up and add attributes. So effectively what we're doing here is we're just starting the process off for our developer to be able to map certain attributes or pieces of data. So let's just say we give this one first name, just for argument's sake, just to be able to send that through. And we know that's going to be text, but obviously we could be mapping through number of different formats of data. So let's just say we're going to do first name for this instance, just so that we can get through and see what happens next. It would probably be best practice to give it a description so that people know what the trigger is about. Now, what we can do then is we can download a file with the complete instructions to share it with the developer. So it gives them instruction what the trigger is set up to do, and then they can go and use that to build that out and enable that kind of mapping and integration with that website or application. Okay, and that code snippet gets generated, and you can have that in a number of different languages. So, depending on what the language requirement is, that's available in JavaScript, C Sharp, Python, and a code appropriate for iOS operating system or Android operating system. And then once you've got that code snippet, you can pass it over to your developer so that can be inserted into the page where it needs to be used. Okay, let's go to next. Okay, market ready to use. This trigger can be used to build customer journeys, so we can use it to start the customer journey. And then, as we'll find out a little bit later on, if we need or want to, we can inject a new trigger partway through an existing journey, create branching, start new journeys at certain points in time. So let's just say this one's ready to use. Okay, and that will conclude what we're doing on triggers. All right, let's go and have a look at the email builder. So obviously that's the content that we're going to send out, the what, as part of all of this customer journey activity. Let's go and have a look at how to use the email builder. So I've got an email that I've already started to prepare. Didn't want to kind of drag you through the process of absolutely everything. Let's just talk to some of the functionality that we've got on here. Obviously, we've got some drag and drop capabilities. So we're starting with our canvas for the email. We've got various components that we can drag and drop into that canvas and then start to pull in and manipulate those. So here we've got some imagery, we've got some text. We've also got some divider lines to create some sectioning on the email, and we've also got on this one in particular a button. So there's all of the expected component parts that you would want to see, and we've got control over the layout as well, which can vary through section to section. So lots of flexibility. We've got the ability to use content blocks. So in your kind of asset library, you can create reusable content blocks. So you can kind of drag and drop those content blocks in. So just gives you the building blocks, I guess, pardon the pun, to get those emails built and sent out. Content ideas. So there's a little bit of Copilot and AI built in here. So you can start to get some possible ideas of what sort of content you might be able to create and what sort of wording you might put into an email. So you can give Copilot some prompts to go away and have a think about. You can give it some indication of the sort of tone that you're looking to generate with your email. And it's a really good way to get get some different ideas, always with AI, obviously, give it a vet, make sure it's accurate, make sure you're happy before you even go ahead and send that out. We've got a capability to personalize the emails. So when we're needing to inject, if that email is going to a lot of contacts, if we're wanting to inject their name, and we can put their name in there. If it's other data that's relating to that contact, obviously we can put that personalization as well. So in the example that we've got here in this text, we're using the first name. So every time this email goes out against a contact, it's going to address them by their first name and give it that personalization. Okay. Um, there are some themes that you can leverage on these as well and settings, but I won't go into the details of that. Now, for emails, you can test send. You can also check the content in terms of its accessibility and spam. So whether your email is likely or unlikely to be trapped in people's junk or spam folders. So making sure that you're actually getting the content in front of the customer, and also for accessibility purposes as well for those that may not be able to read but have software to read their emails for them. On the email creation, the email builder, we can delve into the HTML. So if you're a marketer who likes to piece together HTML, then that capability is available for you there. And if we just wait a couple of moments, you'll see that HTML just appear on the bottom of the email in the screen just here. We can see it ticking around. Just waiting a couple of moments. I am struggling with network today, so I do apologize for that. And there we go. The HTML is now appearing underneath there. So other features that we can do here, so we can do a bit of preview and test. If you've used the drag and drop methodology, then there's probably not an awful lot that's going to be going wrong. So I'd say predominantly this is focused at those that are constructing their emails straight with HTML. So we've got some preview screen sizes, so you can have a look at how the content is adapting to those screen sizes. So if we just look across here to the mobile, we can see that the content is adapting to mobile ratios and layouts. So everything looks good there from my perspective. So we can say that this one's now saved and ready to send. All right, so up to you to use your imaginations with these emails. Obviously, we've got lots of templates, lots of content to be designed, lots of personalization. We've got clickable buttons so we can lead people to event registration processes, to join teams, to add things to calendars, to download contents, white papers, and documentation, so on and so forth. So there's plenty of capability there to support all of your business needs. Um, so we've got the ability in there as well to do conditional content for personalization based on variations across the consolidated target segment. So I won't go into detail with that, but essentially what we're saying there is you can get content variation based on the engaged audience for a range of different triggers or segments. Um, uh, so that's all very good and useful. Other types of contents then that we've got in play here. So if we've got text messages, so text messages we can get, so just save and continue on that. That one needing to save. When we come across to the text messages, okay, there we go. So we can create a new text message. So the assumption here is that we're using Twilio or Telesigns provider for distribution into text messages, and once we've got that all integrated up, then we'll be able to distribute SMSs as part of the customer journey. So we'll have to select a sender later because I don't have that configured, but essentially we can put in a message. Okay, and as we're typing that away, and whoops, I can't keep my finger off the shift key, of course. We can also, on these text messages at your discretion, start adding in emojis if we want as well. So let's just put a nice big grin face. Here's an example of an SMS message. Okay, the idea behind the purpose is whether that is the options here are commercial or transactional. So think of it as a commercial being the sorts of things that you'd want to be able to provide a customer the ability to opt out of, for example. And transactional would be things that are, actually transaction based. So, maybe we're SMSing a document, it's invoice details or it's confirmation of an appointment, that kind of transactional data. So that's the way to look at that. Now we can save that away, make it ready to send, and then we can use that as part of a customer journey later down the line if we so wished. The other bit of content here is the push notifications. And so push notifications are useful for your kind of Power Apps developers. And so if we've got special custom Power Apps or mobile applications, then we can push those notifications out to the end user. It's pretty straightforward. If we get there's network issues still impeding. We can go and create a new one of these. So I guess it's very similar to that kind of SMS layout. So we can give it the title, subtitle, the actual message. Okay. But with these, we can add in imagery to those push notifications. And then we can have some on-click behavior. So when the notification gets clicked, what happens? Do we open something in an app or open something in a browser? And again, it's got that commercial transactional distinction as well. So I'm not going to save that one because we're not going to be using a push notification in our customer journey today. Other channels we'll just discard that. The other channels that we have at our disposal in terms of content would be forms. So with these, we can create forms, obviously go and host them on web pages as people are completing those, submitting those, and we can use that as a mechanism to kind of capture data and again, use that to trigger events and really kind of bring those customer journeys to life. Again, not going to dig into that one at this stage because what I'd like to do is to actually get on and have a look at the customer journey itself. Okay, let's go look at the customer journey. I do have one prepared, which we can go and have a look at in a moment. But I just wanted to show you what it was like to go through the process of creating one from scratch. So just clicking on the plus new on there. Now, such as the advances in the AI space, we've got a Copilot assistant built into Customer Insights now to help us create a baseline journey based on natural language. So we can feed into here and provide a description of what we would like our customer journey to do. And Copilot will go and start to construct that journey based on what we've told it to. Now, always impertinent for us to then go back and review and making sure that we're happy with how that's been put together. If you're not comfortable with that, it really is quite a good accelerator. I'm not going to do it for you now, but you can choose to skip and create from blank. And you can give your journey a name, make it reasonably well understood, and then determine what kind of journey you are creating. So your journey is either trigger-based or segment-based. So we can either set this up to execute based on some sort of customer action. They've submitted a form, they've, in a retail scenario, abandoned their cart, made a purchase, or maybe in kind of the context of a loyalty program, they've submitted a survey response or reviewed a product or a service, something like that. Or they can be segment based. So, as we will recall, reaching out to a segment of targeted audience. Maybe it is our loyalty members. Maybe it is our highly engaged contacts. Maybe it's contacts that are from a particular industry or segment. The world is your oyster, of course, with how you segment your customer data. We pick one or the other. Obviously, if we pick a trigger-based one, we are going to have to go and choose the trigger that it is that we want to base it off. With the segment-based approach, there's a few other options that we need to kind of pick out. And not only do we need to go and specify the actual customer segment that we're going to use, but we also need to determine some things about frequency. So is this just a one-off? Are we doing a one-time journey with that static segment that we've just captured at this moment in time? Or are we going to say, look, it's a one-time journey, but we're going to allow it to run in the background, and every time a contact meets that segment's um, kind of filtering criteria as their data changes, that they enter the journey as they become relevant to the segment. Or do we just want to repeat it on a cycle? So every 30 days or once a year, we're going to run this particular journey based on this particular segment. Time zones, get that one set for your local time zone, and start and end date, depending on which options you go through. As I say, that's essentially what you do to get yourself to the point where you've got your journey ready to put together. So that will take you through and create canvas, and you can start to build out your customer journey logic. I'm just going to discard it because, as I mentioned before, I have one already built. And we'll go and have a look at that one. So there's my example journey. I've got mine based on a trigger. So effectively, my trigger is looking at a change on something that I've determined as being the loyalty level. So I'm kind of looking at a loyalty scheme type scenario here. So every time a person's loyalty level changes, and we've got a number of levels there. So we've got bronze and silver and gold and platinum. So what I'm intending to do on this journey is when somebody's level changes, that we congratulate or commiserate their change in level. And then we need to reconfirm with them, what does it mean now that they've moved up or down to that particular loyalty level? So there are some perks, if you like, some benefits that are aligned to the loyalty level that they're in. So that is what my trigger is. And then I've got the branching based on those 4 values. So in the event that it's a platinum level person versus a gold, silver, and bronze, that we want to do different things. So, just as an example here, if that person is platinum, then we're going to go and generate an email and send them an email. That might be a little bit dinky on the side here. So let's just pull that out, and you can see we've just got a very basic loyalty email that we're going to send to them. So we're going to send them a congratulations, they made it to, and that is actually a variable in there, some personal data, not bronze as it says. So we're saying congratulations to whomever it is, you made it to X level in the loyalty program. In this case, it will be platinum. We're also tracking a loyalty score in the background. So we're just going to confirm to them what their loyalty score is. A little bit of thanks for everything they do, and just for all their hard work. Here's all of the things that you get access to now. So some sort of an example thing, an amazing thing, a free gift, whatever it might be. And then some note there to tell them to keep up all the hard work to maintain that loyalty level and all their special benefits. So that's the kind of thing that we can start to do. Just close that one down. Also within this track, if they're a platinum level loyalty member now, I want to feed that back through to that can be a sales or administration kind of team. I'm actually going to create an activity. So, this is our platinum loyalty customer call. So we're going to give them a call and make them feel really loved. We want to keep them there. So that's the sort of thing that we can go and trigger as part of this journey, is someone to go and reach out and have a human touch with them. And also in some of our other tracks here, if your goals, we're going to send based on the same email template, but which I haven't actually selected to. So we can go do that now. All right, we're getting that little preview. Yeah, send the email. There's a little preview. So we're using the same kind of templated approach, but maybe, as I say, as a gold loyalty member, there are different benefits, different perks. And again, same for silver. And then for bronze, so maybe bronze, we're going to go and send them an email, but we're going to include a link in that email to send them somewhere to find out what it is that they can do to get themselves back up the ladder in terms of the loyalty program. And then that's where we can start to add in additional logic about, okay, we've sent them this email, we provide them with a link. They followed the link, or did they not follow the link? Do we wait a certain amount of time? And do they do it? And that's really the start of, and it's just scratching the surface here about how much flexibility and complexity we can build in. So if I just take you to this node, then where someone has clicked a link, there is so much that we can do that it really is something that you just need to get involved with. Messaging, emails, text messages, push notifications, or other types of messages on other channels. We can introduce AI-powered actions. So we can use AI to select the best channel for each person based on the interactions that they've performed in the past as part of that journey. So if you've got people that are responsive to emails, then maybe it chooses that. If you've got people that are a little bit more interactive with an SMS, then it will also send you down that path. We've got various conditions where we can wait. We can do an audience split or a branching, or we can wait for another trigger to be actually executed as well. And as we've seen with the creation of that phone call in this example, there are activities that you can create. So go and set up that phone call, go and set up that task and allocate it to the relevant person. Just up here in the right-hand navigation panel, I just want to just quickly take you back here. So this is the entry. So this is kind of the stuff that we capture at the point of creation, right? So we've got the trigger that we have used to enable someone to enter this particular journey. And then we've got the kind of the timing, the scheduling, when it starts and whether it's immediate, and so on and so forth. But we can do some exclusions in here now, now that we've got it created. So if there is a particular segment that we want to exclude, then we can do that here. There are some specifications about exit. So exiting this journey is either at the default is to complete all the steps. So they start at the start, they follow make their way all the way through, pass through all of the branching and end up at a point, and then that's it. That's the end of that journey. Or we can have alternate exits. So we can exit people that activate a particular trigger when they're on that journey. So that's how we can feed one journey into another and create great complexity and handover and pass over between journeys. Or we can exit by segments. So if during the course of this particular journey, their interactions and their data changes, and that means that they fit into one of your predefined segments, that could be a mechanism to for them to exit this particular customer journey. Customer journeys, we can set goals on those. So we've got goals that are based on these kind of predefined options. So are we looking to engage customers? Are we trying to increase loyalty? Are we onboarding what it is that we're trying to do. So there's some that we can pick from out of the box, or you can go and define your own goals. That's also possible. All right, so we just close out our session today by finishing up with a quick look at the reporting and analytics side of things. As I mentioned at the beginning, not enough transactional data in this environment for us to be able to see this live. So just a few screenshots here to give you a bit of an idea of what to expect in terms of data and analytics. So this one is very much focused on email deliverability and email engagement. Our next one is much more to do with website and where our customers are based that are visiting our website, and what devices they are accessing the site from, and what sort of kind of domains are we being referred from. And we've got some customer journey related insights and analytics and data. And then finally, we've got a bit of a 360-degree view of one specific customer, all in the context of their retail activity. So data such as their average spending, what their interests are, as well as their recent activities across that timeline. And that concludes the session. So thank you for your time. We'll see you next time.